All right, so this is Jeezy on the Scenesbury. I'm here with Brock Butler, epic guitarist extraordinaire from Pgroove. He's done over 1,000 shows. This guy really knows how to party. So he's thrown some of the best parties I've ever been to. He's a party animal. So Brock, you've thrown over. So good evening,
Good
great show.
evening. Good evening, my friend.
Great show, by the way, tonight.
Thank you.
Excellent set. So you've thrown a lot of parties. You're part of a great band. You've traveled the world. So what makes a P Groove party unique?
Oh, man, unique. I'd like to think of a handful of things. I'll start with for my part personally. I've never felt very comfortable with having like green room something. I've never had the feeling that I wanted to keep people away from me, you know. And we were playing a show at the Chop Shop in Chicago. I didn't stay in the green room. I came out in the front bar and was just hanging with like I like to be, case in point here. Like I like to be accessible, like but beyond just the music, the love of the game. I love how many great friendships I've been able to make over these decades, and that's another like the music and art part fills up the old heart. And then just knowing that I could pretty much get stranded at any airport in this country, and I feel confident that I could at least reach out to one or two people, and several of those, it wouldn't just be an air mattress. Like we'd really go out and have a good time. So I'd like to think that as far as the culture of the band itself, that maybe folks enjoy that if somebody's accessible. And we never hit such a level of success where like certain people, like Billy Strings or someone gets meteoric, then there's safety concerns and other stuff. I'm very much able to manage going out and saying hi, just like now before we came up here, say hi to a bunch of people, have some hugs, and you know I think that might actually make me a little bit sad if something got to such a level where I couldn't do that because I just love it so much. I love seeing folks and traveling around.
Well, thank you. So what could we expect to see at the next P Groove party that would be a little bit extra than we saw at the last one?
Well, let's see. Pgroove Party. The music business is definitely in such rough shape, like everything else coming out of the pandemic. We're still trying to figure out business models and such, but once a few conversations were happening, and Darren Stanley, who has played drums for us superbly the last 4 years,
Absolutely.
he's on my new Brock Butler band album, and it was actually so it's all like there's zero drama. It was like, hey, I might have this going on. Like, oh, you know what? We were talking. It's our 25-year anniversary next year as a band, 25 years, and we were coming up with some ideas of not just your standard rock show, like maybe doing like a storytellers thing, an underplay, where only 100 people can come in and really sit with us and listen. And then it came up. I was like, well, we played with Albert for 20 years. Like, who, if anybody, knows the stories? It just seemed to make more sense than like asking Darren to participate in a storytellers kind of thing where he's missing about 20 years of context. And he had some other work coming up. And then next week, I'm doing the first Brock Butler band tour, and Darren is still my guy for that. So I get the best of both worlds. I got to play with Albert Suttle last night, and the next couple nights, I'll go home, get in the van, go pick up Darren. I'll get to play, a week's worth of shows with Darren.
Those will be some great shows. People should definitely check out those shows. All right, Brock. Well, you talked about how the music industry was getting rough. So if money was no object, where is the party that you would want to throw the next like massive P Groove Fest? Where would you want
Man,
to throw it?
if I didn't really have a ceiling on my imagination, boy, that's a tough one. Um, Believe it or not, I think. Are you familiar with South of the Border?
Oh
James
yes, very
Brown?
familiar.
Yeah.
It's on I
You
ninety
might have
five.
seen my post the other day, like that when Fish did the It Festival, they had that surprise set from the air traffic controller tower.
Very
I
famous
would
set.
like for P Groove to play it South of the Border and do a set like that from the top of that sombrero.
That would
White and
be
sour.
that would be epic.
Can you
That would be
imagine?
epic.
That's like those are my grand designs to have an acrobatics improv jam from the top of a sombrero water tower.
Speaking of epic parties, what's the last question? What's the most epic crew you've ever partied with?
Oh, oh my goodness, that's a dangerous question. I don't think I could really say, and I've known, going on 25 years now, and had great friendships with so many bands, and have also seen people in my peer group, including myself, get caught in the trap of partying too hard, this kind of stuff, and
Got to party responsibly.
yeah, moderation and all
It's
that
key.
kind of stuff. Like I'm coming up on 9 years needle and opiate free.
Oh, that's great.
And
That's
I
great
quit
to hear.
smoking cigarettes
Oh,
a year
excellent.
and a half ago, and
Excellent.
I can feel the difference in my singing. All of these things that I just wish I'd gotten a little more clear-eyed and and just a little. But I was just so fucking out there that I built it up in my own mind. It's like, oh, I can never quit that. I can never quit this. And then I quit cigarettes, and it was not any like I'm still taking some nicotine pouches, but like I was really expecting, because that's what it is. Some people describe it like, oh my gosh, blah 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 blah. But mind over matter kind of thing. And I turned 46 on September 23rd, and I really I would like to be truly healthy and make feel good, have my energy and that kind of stuff. And in every aspect of my life, if you had told me 10 years ago that I would already be almost a year and a half of a non-smoker, not eating Sour Patch Kids and drinking soft drinks as my sole source of hydration, I would have told you you're out of your mind. And now I've lost about almost 20 pounds in the last couple months, just getting older. And it's just nice feeling better. The quitting cigarettes, it was only 2 weeks later, and Pgroove went out, and I was able, we were doing walking in place. That's it, and that was what I got into a point where I would hold not the note, just a note for as long as I could, to where I didn't think I was gonna fall over and keel over. Knocked off the cigarettes. Less than a month later, we're doing walking in place. All of a sudden, I've got tons of air in my lungs, gas in the tank. I didn't hold a note. I held the note, controlled it, wrapped it down, and still had air left over. So,
Well, I'll tell you what, as a fan of the music personally, it's nice to see bands like you, Pgroove, as well as other bands like Humphreys McGee, Disco Biscuits, bands you played with, I think, in Amsterdam.
oh sure, yeah.
It's great to see all you bands still being healthy and playing together, and everyone looking good in their 40s and beyond. Because we've
I've always
you've
wanted
seen a lot.
to
So-
think of those guys as our peers, but I don't think that they necessarily see us that way. I think they see us as a annoying kid brother kind of band. But still, sometimes they'll let us sneak in and play in the reindeer games, and it's not too terrible, not too mean spirited.
Well, I hope that's not the case, certainly, but
Yeah,
it's good to see everyone still kicking and still seeming healthy.
right? Oh my God! And considering all the dumb things I've done, and I'm fully convinced that if I had been living in the ways that I was living at the time, with wild abandon, completely reckless, no regard for my health, all this fentanyl stuff, that wasn't in the scene yet. And I really do think that if the drugs that are out there today, and how stupidly and awful I was, and really even before fentanyl, it's like, the success rate of people wanting to get clean per se, I won't say fully sober, because I feel like that's an intense term, and I hold people that are fully abstinent, true sober, I hold them in the highest regard in their discipline. But that's just not where I am. So you're never gonna catch me posting on Facebook about 12 steps or this or this or this. I would have a personal conversation with anybody about the recovery philosophies and that kind of stuff, and that and so some folks in an AA meeting or NA meeting would not approve of a fair bit of how I've been living my life, but I did a year and a half fully abstinent. But I knew in my heart, and because I still think to this day, I was like, I know I'm gonna dip my toe in and puff again. Like, who are we kidding, right? Graduated drug court, a couple months out, started puffing again, and I was like, well, you know what? I'm just gonna puff. And
Cigarettes?
no, weed.
Weed.
Yeah, and if I puff this, and then all of a sudden immediately I'm like, I need narcotics, Xanax, this or this. Like, dip my toe in, and if I got the slightest hint that it is a gateway or a problem, then I'd go, okay, don't do that. I'm of the opinion that I think if they implemented treatments with psilocybin, lysergic, ketamine, all of these things, if they had those as an option when people come into a rehab clinic kind of place, or a family that's desperate to try to save their kid, if they're like, hey, and what we'll do is we'll give you these capsules every day for 2 weeks, little microdose of psilocybin, I think they would see the success rate go through the roof. Because really, in my experience, the depression was the worst part. Like, not only now it's your brain chemicals out of whack because now you're sober, but you're also thinking in terms of the future, and you get into that kind of pit of like, I'll never know joy again. Like, it's such the lens is all wrong, and you can't have this, you can't have that, you can't have this. And I imagine, man, if they just start, and especially people, maybe if they're just and not even familiar with psychedelics, like imagine an alcoholic comes into a meeting or a clinic and they're like, hey, take this capsule. So instead of being just tragically depressed and sad, they take that and it's like, oh, even in a micro, just the slightest smirk of a psilocybin thing, that just that little bit, because there is a big window of time where you think you'll never know joy again when you got all, and of course it's the intervention, everyone's coming with you. Of course they were all right, way more right than I ever was. And I don't need to get in the weeds on, it's like, whoa, I wasn't the only guy with problems, because to me, I don't give a shit about that. Like, I'll take the accountability on myself because I feel like that's worthwhile. And it's also a way to be of service, that if you can see someone that talks about like, yeah, I had my ups and downs and I shot myself in the foot, had all these issues. And now I'm married to the most amazing woman. Like, she's like a New York 10, but she's also like super cool. I don't know what's wrong with her yet. It hasn't revealed itself. Suffice to say, something must be, because she could have had anybody in the world. And
sometimes a relationship burns like a fire. So it doesn't have to necessarily be that anything's wrong, but keep the fire going.
Well,
and it's interesting.
It's certainly not about sex appeal.
Well,
we can rule that out straight away.
You're good at connecting with people, Brock. And
thank you.
It's interesting you brought up psychedelics, because Pretty Lights actually, I think, it recovered from opiate addiction, and he is a big proponent of psychedelic therapy. He talks about it at his shows. In fact,
it was even if anybody has ever delved in at all to like Alcoholics Anonymous and Bill W., the guy that started the program, like, the deeper you look into it, they actually arrived at a point where Bill W., the founder of Alcoholics Anonymous, said that he thought LSD showed great potential for a full reset and showed a lot of promise. But that was in the same window of time where Nixon didn't like the Beatles. So Nixon and Elvis come out. It's like, those Beatles are bad. Yeah, they're doing drugs.
Oh, they're not going to let.
But excuse me a second.
No.
I gotta go see my doctor, get my my prescriptions. Nothing wrong with those.
Well, Brock, thank you so much. I hope people go out and see you on the next tours. Definitely for Pgroove.
I sure hope. I truly hope so. It's like, I'll give you my closing statement here, and I appreciate you giving me more than 3 minutes. I was concerned. You asked for a 3-minute interview, and as my wife says, I am the slowest man in the universe. So I appreciate your patience with me, and you viewers at home. That it's some dark stuff out there, particularly today, present day. And my hopes are that through music and art, movies, entertainment, as being a common ground between a lot of people, I believe that is, an opening to where, like, I don't think we can be like, if you don't do this or support this, unfriend me now. If we can all get to the attitude of, trying to, and I know that it's naive and pie in the sky because some of these folks are just irredeemable cocksuckers. I mean, like, what are you supposed to do? But you can't put that on the entirety of everybody else. And my hopes are that through the music that I write and make, how I interact with friends and fans, both in person and on social media, that I would hope that most would agree that if I'm attempting to lead by example, that it is a positive example, that if you think to yourself to say, like, oh man, we should fight this person or dox this person or whatever, I'd say that, like, why don't you just talk to the person, challenge their ideas, try to show them the error of their ways to the best of your ability, and provoke change through intelligent debate. Right? Which maybe that's a little easier for me to say because I think sometimes people, they give me a pass, like guys that I know that everywhere else on social media, they're like, oh, fuck you such a... But because if you enjoy or have ever gotten anything worthwhile out of my lyrics or music, they have to know what I'm about as a person.
I agree. Well, thank you, Brock. Good luck on tour, and appreciate your time.
I'm gonna need it.